Digital magazines in 2026 do not work the same way they did 10 or even 5 years ago. And if you're following old advice, you're probably making this a lot harder than it needs to be. So, in this video, I want to walk you through how digital magazines are actually being created now. If you're new here, my name is Kate, and I am the founder and editor in chief of two magazines, Mini Magazine and Tool Magazine, that I've been running for the last 15 years. I started my first magazine as a college student, and since then I have built, grown, and monetized multiple digital magazines and even added print as well. Everything I'm walking through here is based on how I currently run and grow my own digital magazines, so you can do it too. So, the first thing you do when you set out to start a magazine is research, right? So, you open up Google or you open up YouTube and you look for the steps to take to start your digital magazine. But a lot of the content that you'll find online about creating a digital magazine is outdated. It's either based on old software or a version of the internet that really doesn't exist anymore. I know this because things are much, much different now than they were when I started back in 2011. Digital magazines today are leaner, more intentional, and much more creator led, and that shift is actually a good thing. Now, when I say digital magazine in 2026, I'm not talking about starting an Instagram account and calling it a magazine, and I'm not talking about creating a PDF, uploading it somewhere, and hoping that people find it. That's essentially what I did over a decade ago. I designed my magazine layout in Adobe InDesign, and I uploaded it to a website that allowed people to download the PDF for like 99 cents, and that was it. Anyone who downloaded it got a static PDF with no links, no videos, and you couldn't even flip through it. You had to scroll. Remember that this was a 2011 PDF. A digital magazine today is a whole ecosystem that includes your content, your audience, your distribution, and of course, monetization. Now, the magazine doesn't just live in one place like that static PDF, it lives across multiple platforms. So, how do you go about starting a digital magazine in 2026? Well, the first step hasn't changed. You still need clarity. You need to sit down and really think about what it is that you're creating, and you need to get hyper specific. Ask yourself, what is your magazine going to be about? Who is it for? And why does it need to exist right now? The more specific that you are, the easier everything else becomes, from creating your content to growing your audience and ultimately monetizing. So, after doing this, you should have a good idea about your magazine's niche, and then you can move on to researching the best name for your magazine. Next, you need to start building your audience. Back when I started my first magazine, I began posting on Twitter because that's what we did in 2011. I didn't have an email list at all, and I did not have a big Instagram following. I simply created the magazine and I uploaded it, but I did not place a strong emphasis on audience building, and that's one of the biggest differences in how digital magazines should be approached today. In 2026, audience building is no longer optional. It is the foundation for your magazine. As a digital magazine, you should start building your audience before your first issue ever comes out, and you can do this in a few different ways. The first is you can start social media accounts, which again is just like I did in starting a Twitter account. Start your social media accounts. Whether you choose TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, start showing up and posting. The bigger the audience that you can grow with just your social media account before your first issue even launches, the better. The second is you can start a newsletter. Maybe you start a Substack, which is free, and a great way to start building your audience and delivering them content before your first issue even comes out. And the third is to do a mix of both to really hit the ground running and jumpstart that audience building. When I started my first magazine, I began showing up as the magazine before it ever officially existed, and that is still how I recommend doing it today to really begin to build your audience. So, one of the reasons that digital magazines work so well today is because the barrier to entry is so low. When I started my first magazine, I was a college student in a one woman show with very limited resources and no team. And one of the reasons why that worked so well is because with a digital magazine, you do not have any printing, shipping, inventory, or large upfront production costs. Sure, there are options like print on demand, but for digital magazines, that's usually not where your focus needs to be early on. With digital, you get to test the waters. You have a much shorter lead time when it comes to planning your issue and actually executing it. For example, print magazines might work on their content several months in advance because they need a longer lead time to get the magazine into production and then out to their subscribers. You don't have that with digital. If I wanted to, I could finalize my plan for an issue today and then have it published by next week. Now, depending on how long your magazine is page wise, that might take a couple late nights of working, but that lead time is much, much shorter. Digital allows you to test your ideas, refine as you go, and build your audience in real time. If you do decide to add in print later, it tends to be much more intentional because you've already gotten into that groove of producing digital first. Another one of those first tasks when you're starting a digital magazine is to set up your website. As a digital magazine, your website is super important since it serves as your home base. It's where your magazines will live, where people will subscribe, and where brands or partners will eventually find you. Back when I started in 2011, I had a very simple landing page with a graphic that said coming soon, and then I had my contact information and social media handles underneath. I was teaching myself WordPress and trying to learn how to custom code a theme, so it was much harder to get a professional looking website up quickly. Now it is so much easier to get your website up, whether you use a magazine specific WordPress theme or you use a drag and drop platform like Showit, which is what I use now. So let's just recap really quickly. If you want to start a digital magazine, you'll want to sit down and decide what you're creating, who it's for, and why. You'll want to start building your audience, whether that's through social media or a newsletter or both. And then you'll want to work on getting your website up. After that, you can begin to plan your first issue. One of the biggest mistakes I see is people trying to plan an entire magazine business before they've even published a single issue. Now, this is a momentum thing. If you put too many obstacles in front of yourself before launching that first issue, you'll keep waiting and never actually launch it. In 2026, your focus should be on planning one strong, intentional first issue. This is still how I approach launching new issues today. So, planning this first issue means first deciding if this issue will have an underlying theme. So, some magazines might do something like the design issue or the outdoors issue. You don't need a theme, and I don't do this every time, but decide if the content you're including has an underlying thread that you can then tie into the entire issue. You'll then want to outline your content. Sit down and write out who your interviews will be, what your articles will be, outline what's going inside the issue. Then you'll work on actually executing all of that with design. At this stage, you need to keep the momentum going to officially launch your digital magazine. Now, design is still incredibly important to starting a digital magazine, but now it's more accessible than ever. You will need to decide which software you will use to lay out your digital magazine, but now you have several options. You can use Adobe InDesign, Canva, or Affinity, or you can create your digital magazine inside your publishing platform like Flipsnack. So whether you use professional design software, templates you download, or more beginner-friendly tools like Canva or Affinity, what matters most is consistency and readability. The goal is to create something that you can publish and be proud of, but remember that it only gets better from here. When I look back and compare my first magazine to what my magazines look like now, it's like night and day. The design is so different, and you can really see how it evolved over time. In the early days, I did most of the design myself with the help of a few designers that I found on a website called Behance. You can use websites like Behance or Dribble, Upwork, or Fiverr to hire designers that will help you put the magazine together. If you're not confident in laying out the entire magazine by yourself, which is completely doable, those websites are great for finding talented designers to really level up the look of your magazine. So, after the magazine is designed, you'll then move into publishing, and you'll need a publishing platform for this, like FlipSnack, Flip HTML5, or Issue, to name a few. There are many to choose from, so you'll want to look into the publishing platform that best suits your needs, including platforms like MagPlus or Magcast that can even help you create your own branded magazine app. But publishing is only half the job. Distribution, or how you're going to get your magazine out, is really where the growth happens for your digital magazine. That means sharing through your email list, promoting across social platforms, and always involving your contributors in sharing the issue. In 2026, distribution is just as important as creation. So, to give you a final running to do list for starting a digital magazine in 2026, you're first going to decide what it is that you're creating, who it's for, and why it needs to exist. Next, you'll move into building your audience, whether that's through social media or a newsletter or both. You'll then want to create your website and begin planning your first issue, including your interviews and your articles. You'll need to decide how you're designing your issues, including the software you will use, and whether you can tackle it yourself or hire a designer. Finally, you will need to decide on a publishing platform to upload your issue and make it flippable, in addition to deciding on your distribution strategy that's going to get your digital magazine on as many screens as possible. If you want a full step-by-step roadmap for planning, designing, publishing, and monetizing a digital magazine, that's exactly what I teach inside the Editor Academy, and I'll leave a link in the description box if you want to learn more about that. Creating a digital magazine in 2026 is still a great idea, and I'm here to help you make that happen. So thank you so much for watching. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more on starting and growing a magazine. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.